It is currently April 29th, 2020, 1:15 a.m. My name is Kayla Kubic. I am a 21-year-old junior in college. I live in Colorado. I am currently studying animation, film photography, and motion design. And a lot has happened the past 2 months. I think it's important to talk about what's happening currently and get opinions from, I guess, what you could consider common people. The people not on TV, not politicians, people who don't have influences that might hinder what they're saying. It's been a hard 2 months. Like everyone else in the country, my college shut down. It really started out kind of slow. People kind of talked about this new virus that we heard about that started somewhere in China, but we weren't really worried. And then things kind of slowly started to change. We had spring break on March 15th, and it lasted that week. I left for spring break on the 13th by train. And that day we got an email that said that not only was our spring break being extended all the way through the 27th, but that we would be having a short period of class that was online from the 30th of March to the 5th of April. And I lived on campus, so I was concerned as to how I was going to get my school stuff and travel home. Less than a week later, we got an email telling us that the campus was closing, that people needed to move out of the dorms, and that classes would be going online fully for the rest of the semester until May 14th. And I think that's kind of when I realized how serious things were. Of course, then what followed was the state closing down. Countries around the world were shutting down, shutting their borders. It was very uncertain. It is very uncertain. There's already talks going through campus from my classmates, my professors, that they're not going to open for next semester, which would be my senior year. I went from living on campus, being in the center of a college life, surrounded by friends, 4 hours away from my family, to having to move out, having to adjust to online classes, having to deal with the world shutting down within a week. It was a big change. I'm still not fully recovered. I'm stressed all the time. I'm losing hair. I'm not sleeping. I don't have an appetite. Wanting to make this video, documentary, whatever you want to call it, feels like doing something than nothing, than just sitting at home. I've always been incredibly good at managing my time, being organized, and getting what I need done. But pairing that with the emotional turmoil of the world closing, I don't think any of us were prepared for it. I think we all kind of thought that it would blow over within a week or two, that we would go back to our jobs, our classes, our regular life, and it's not. And people don't like the unknown. There's no stop to the information. Like, you get up And so many of us are having to work online or do schoolwork online or anything like that. And it's all coronavirus things. None of it seems good. There's only ever bad. This many people died here. This place shut down here. It's on TV, it's on my phone, it's on my computer, every social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's on every talk show, every part of life seems to revolve around it, as it should, but there's no rest. It's hard to see the good, and I do see it. The amount of charity that's going on. So many people are hosting charity live streams or are giving to their followers who need help, or there are people giving food, giving blood, people fostering animals because shelters can't run. I see the good, but it doesn't feel like enough. It doesn't feel like it's enough to counteract the bad, that the balance is so shifted in one direction that you see these good things happening and you just kind of brush it off because you're like, yeah, but this other thing. While I was thinking about what I wanted to do, I talked with a lot of my friends and asked them how their lives are going. People from across the US. I wanted to get different viewpoints of people who are affected by it differently, so that there's a bigger indication of what's going on. What is your name?
I am Tyler Astry.
I'm Adam Fender.
My name is Aulina.
Where do you live?
I live in Hastings, Nebraska, in the main city part. There's rural areas around here, but it's Nebraska.
I live in rural Illinois.
Right now, I'm living in Orlando, Florida.
How old are you?
I am 20.
24.
I am 21.
Were you working when the pandemic started?
I was working over at the cafeteria over at the college.
Yes, I was. I was working in a customer service call center.
Have you lost your job because of the pandemic?
Yep. After everyone got kicked out of the dorms, that's when my boss was like, yeah, if no one's living in the dorms, there's no reason to have you here.
Yes, I did, unfortunately.
What is your daily routine like?
I'm a homebody. I usually spend most of the day drawing, helping family members.
It's been very inconsistent. I'm basically spending most of my day just watching YouTube videos and like Netflix. I've been trying to avoid going out as much as I can, but that's led me to being like a little stir crazy and kind of feeling like I'm running out of things to do. But
what has been the biggest change since the pandemic started?
Leaving the dorms, coming out to an apartment, moving into an apartment, and like having to pay bills now. And
not as much for me personally as watching what other people around me have to go through, family members and so on and so forth. Most of them have essential jobs, so they're still working.
Losing my job has been the worst part. Like going from, working every day to having absolutely zero source of income. That's been the hardest part because I've really been having to like budget super carefully for food and stuff.
What is the hardest thing you're going through right now?
Unemployment, I guess.
Family matters, more complicated in terms of funerals and seeing your elder relatives that you don't want to risk exposing to and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just finances really. Like I have rent coming up next week and my last paycheck went towards like last month's rent.
If you could tell your future self one thing, what would it be?
Probably that, even like the worst situations, are survivable, and not everything is going to fall apart.
If I could talk to my future self, if they watch this in the future, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 1 year, a month from now, I would tell them to stay safe, but to not take everything that you took for granted before this. Don't keep doing that. I used to walk my dog and find it a pain because I wanted to continue doing what I was doing. I would hate walking through crowds on campus at the store. And now I miss it, and it's weird. The 5-minute walks I take my dog on now, I look forward to and appreciate so much because it's the only time I can get out. And it's 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes in the sun, and it's 5 minutes in the wind, and it's glorious. I hope that the world learns from this. People learn and understand how special and important being near each other is. I hope that companies suddenly understand that not everybody has to be in an office taking up space, electricity, and wasting resources. I hope the world comes out better than it was before, because we're losing a lot of good people. I hope everyone stays safe. To the people that I love, to the people I don't like, to the strangers I haven't even met, I hope everyone is okay in the end, and that we get through this with the most love and the least pain that we can.